It's time now for the Muletrain News Program on this Thursday, March the 5th, 2020, brought to you today by the First Bank, along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant. David Dion Lewis, 44, of Irving, formerly of Muleshoe, died on February the 13th, and he was born July the 1st, 1975, to his parents, Clarence and Sadie Lewis. He is preceded in death by his grandparents, Emmett and Celestine Lewis, and Carl and Ella Wiley, one great niece, Serenity Zane Dean, as well. David grew up here in Muleshoe and graduated from Muleshoe High School in 1994. His first job was working at the Cell Barn, then Casey Muffler, and on to Clifton's Trucking. After Clifton's Trucking, he moved to Levelland, and there he met Miss Tasha Moore. They moved to the Lubbock-Slayton area, and he took classes at Reese Center. He relocated to Lancaster, Texas, where he worked for C.R. England Trucking School. David received his degree to become a truck driver instructor. Teaching others to drive semi-trucks and drive safely was his love. He leaves to cherish his memory, his tea of 23 years, Natasha Moore of Lancaster, his parents, Clarence Lewis Sr. of Muleshoe, Sadie Lewis of Texaco, his siblings Geraldine Richardson and her husband Larry Sr. of Muleshoe, Clarence Lewis and his wife Norma of Lubbock, Regina Gallander, Brian of Clovis, Marthella Lewis of Clovis, and Carlton Lewis and his wife Sarah of Clovis, along with Darrell Lewis and Natalie of Forney. A host of nieces and nephews survive him, including Irwin, Larry Jr., Miranda, Daniela, Shauna, Shira, Dontrell, Roderick, D., Denisha, Darrell, Elijah, Zarari, Taven, Langdon, Carlton, Kelton, London, and Trenton, along with 9 great-grandnieces and nephews and a host of relatives and friends. His funeral services were held at the First Baptist Church here in Muleshoe Saturday, February the 22nd, 2020, and he was buried in the Hilltop Cemetery here in Muleshoe. Please keep the family of David Lewis on your prayer list today. Funeral service for Benny Sue Welch Free, 85, of Earth, was held this past week, Friday, February the 28th, at the First Baptist Church in Earth, with Glenn Harlan of Lubbock and Jack Stone of Lubbock officiating. Burial was in the Earth Memorial Cemetery. Benny Sue died Tuesday, February 25th in Earth. She was born November 20th, 1934 in Spring Lake to Melton Lee Pody and Beattie Lucille Simmons Welch. Benny Sue completed 2 years of college at Texas Tech and then married the love of her life, Bobby G. Freed, on February the 20th, 1955, at the First United Methodist Church in Earth. Benny Sue was a loving wife, mother, Mimi, and adored her family. Benny Sue was a member of the First Baptist Church in Earth. She is preceded in death by her parents. She is survived by her husband, Bobby, her son, Grady Free, and his wife, Julia of Muleshoe, 2 daughters, Faith Free Lewis and her husband, Gerald of Lubbock, Hope Vaughn and her husband Larry of Muleshoe, her 4 grandchildren, Charity Stark, Tiffany Cheadle, Courtney Harris, and Sage Free, and her 9 great-grandchildren. The family would like to give a special thanks to her caregivers, Marianne Ramon, Isabel Ibarra, Maria Garcia, and Lupe Venegas. The family suggests memorials be sent to your favorite charity of choice. Online condolences can be made at ellisfuneralhomes.com. And repeating, funeral service for Benny Sue Welch Free was held last week. Please keep the family, the Free family, on your prayer list today. Here are the Bailey County Republican and Democratic election returns from the primary election that was held here in the state of Texas on Tuesday, March the 3rd. The primary election returns brought to you by Randallfield CPA, Barrett Potato Farms, Burton Service Center, Dale Oil Company, Hereford Feed Ingredients, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Precure Electric, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, and AIM Bank. And the one contested local race on the Republican Party primary for sheriff was Richard Wills, winning with 597 votes, to Benny Parker's 334. In the Democratic Party primary for president, The top 3 vote getters here in Bailey County was Joseph Biden with 47 votes, Bernie Sanders with 34, Michael Bloomberg received 15 votes. Biden won statewide with 32.9% of the vote to Sanders' 29.8%. In the Republican Party primary for president, top 3 vote getters here in Bailey County was Donald J. Trump with 830 votes, uncommitted got 51, and Rocky De La Fuente got 16 votes. Trump won statewide with 94% of the vote here in Texas. For U.S. Senator, Republican incumbent John Cornyn won in Bailey County in the primary with 592 votes, and statewide carried 76% of the vote. Democrat Sima Hernandez won the Bailey County U.S. Senate primary with 23 votes, but statewide Mary M.J. Hager took 23% of the vote, followed by Christina Ramirez and Royce West, both with 13%, as they are likely headed to a runoff to decide who will face Cornyn in the general election in November. Democrat Tom Watson won the Bailey County U.S. Representative District 19 primary with 80 votes, as he was uncontested, and the Republican side incumbent Jody Arrington beat his primary challenger with 810 votes. In Bailey County to Vance Boyd's 73, Arrington won 90% of the vote district-wide and will go on to face Watson in November. Railroad Commissioner James Jim Wright got 521 votes to his opponent Ryan Sitton, 246 votes on the Republican side. Here in Bailey County, statewide Wright won 56% of the vote total. In the contested Democratic State Railroad Commissioner primary race, Roberto R. Beto Alonso won in Bailey County with 35 votes, but statewide Krista Castaneda took home the most votes, but it was close as they are likely headed to a runoff. Republican State Representative District 88 Ken King was unopposed and received 738 votes. In Bailey County, District Attorney 287th Judicial District Catherine Gurley received 605 votes. In the Bailey County Republican primary, Bailey County Attorney Jackie Claiborne received 768 votes Tuesday night. In the Republican primary, County Tax Assessor Collector Maria Gonzalez got 766 votes. County Constable Kent Wiley, 792 votes. County Commissioner Precinct 1 Gary Don Garten received 271 votes. County Commissioner Precinct 3 Cody Black got 118 votes. Bailey County Republican Chair Carol Precure got 793 votes, and all those races were on the Republican side and unopposed. And again, the one contested local race in the Republican Party primary for sheriff, Richard Wills, got 597 votes, and Benny Parker 334. Of course, Wills is the incumbent. And our election returns brought to you here on Gil Lamb Advertising. Channel 6 is brought to you by Randallfield CPA, Barrett Potato Farms, Burton Service Center, Dell Oil Company, Hereford Feed Ingredients, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Precure Electric, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, and AIM Bank. You're invited to the DeShazo Elementary 4th graders as they are performing their Texas History program, The Texans' Birth of the Lone Star State, at Muleshoe High School Auditorium at 1:45 on Thursday, March the 12th, and everyone is invited. Thanks to Susan White, the music director there at DeShazo, for inviting us, and all the public as well will be there to film it. The Texans' Birth of the Lone Star State 4th grade program, MHS High School Auditorium at 1:45 Thursday, March the 12th. Well, another Texas history program that is an annual tradition here in Muleshoe will happen this afternoon at 1 p.m. The Jenny Slippers will host the Toast to Texas today on Thursday, March 5th at 1 p.m. to celebrate Texas Independence Day. It's for 4th graders as well, and it will be at the Bailey County Courthouse, and we'll be there to film that. So look for that coming up shortly over the next several days. Look on your TV screen here on the Muletrain News, as well on the front page of our website, muleshoetv.com. You can see pictured the new Bailey County Extension Agent, John Vialba. He started on the job on Monday. You can see him pictured on our screen. And there will be a meet and mingle with John at the Bailey County Coliseum meeting room. Come and go from 5 until 7 p.m. on Monday, March the 9th. John is coming here after being a county agent at Swisher County in Tulia, and this is his 14th year working as a Texas A&M AgriLife Extension agent. He grew up in his hometown of Slayton, then graduated with a bachelor's degree from Texas Tech University and became an ag teacher. John then decided to further his education as he attended New Mexico State in Las Cruces and received his master's degree. He is in charge of running educational programs for farmers and ranchers in Bailey County and working on the youth side with the 4-H, doing the Bailey County Junior Livestock Show, and teaching livestock, meat, and dairy judging teams. By the way, he was on one of instructor Mark Miller's meat judging teams while John was an undergrad at Texas Tech University. So welcome to Muleshoe, John Villalba. And that meet and greet is Monday, March the 9th from 5 until 7 at the meeting room at the Bailey County Coliseum. We'll be back with more Muletrain news in just a few moments, so please stay tuned. Take control of your First Bank of Muleshoe debit card right from your smartphone with the My Mobile Money app. It's customizable card monitoring and controls that help you manage your accounts. With My Mobile Money app, you can set interactive controls to help monitor activity and prevent unauthorized use. You can turn your card on or off, set alerts, and deny transactions based on merchant or transaction type and location, monitor and control dependent cardholder usage, receive notifications of possible fraudulent transactions, and take action, deposit checks through your phone. Download the My Mobile Money app now at the App Store or Google Play. For more information, you can also call the First Bank here in Muleshoe, 806-272-4515, or go by 202 South First Street. The First Bank right here in Muleshoe, offering the My Mobile Money app. Available at the App Store or Google Play. Call the First Bank here in Muleshoe, 806-272-4515, or go by 202 South First Street. The First Bank, member FDIC.
Leal's is the best Mexican food I've ever eaten in my life, and I've been alive for 10 years now. Hi, I'm Isla Reynolds, and I enjoy the phenomenal bean burritos, rice and beans and chips, and seasoning salt. I've been around and eaten lots of Mexican food in 10 years, and Leal's is the best, for sure, with the original being located at 1010 West American Boulevard in Muleshoe, Texas since 1957.
Make sure to hear on our website, muleshoetv.com, as we named our sweethearts last Friday, Ronnie and Regina Dent. That available free of charge on demand on our website, muleshoetv.com, courtesy of Hereford Feed Ingredients. Also on Friday, we took a picture of a check presentation to Muleshoe ISD from United Supermarkets in the amount of $11,490, and the United manager Eric Steinfath is pictured in that picture. You can see it on the front page of our website, muleshoetv.com, as well, rotating here on our Muletrain news. He is with many of the MISD administration and coaches, including the Director of Maintenance, Sam Whalen, MHS Principal, Cindy Basir, and Assistant Greg Hill, MISD Board members, Jesus Tovar and Curtis Preston, MHS Head Baseball Coach, Charles Hurst, and Assistant A.J. Villanueva, and the new Athletic Director, Jason Richards, and the entire baseball team. The softball team was all out of town at an away game when that picture was taken, but see that on the front page of our website, muleshoetv.com. Thanks to United Supermarkets, as they donated $11,490, and this will all go for new scoreboards at the MHS and baseball and softball fields there in the new city park. R.L. Richards, the superintendent, let us know that will happen later in the year, as the city will take down the old scoreboards and use them in other fields. Congratulations to the Lady Mules basketball players on District 1-3A All-District Awards. Anai Barrera is All-District, along with Natalie Ambrose. Anna Phillips was named Honorable Mention All-Districts. So congratulations to Anai, Natalie, and Anna on All-District Awards for their basketball season. The second grade PE program will be held today at 6 this evening, Thursday, March the 5th, and it will be held at the Watson Junior High Gymnasium, according to the PE instructor, Mrs. Skipworth, and everyone is invited to the second grade PE program. this evening, 6 p.m. Thursday, March the 5th at the Watson Junior High Gym. Well, great news as Leal's Tamale Factory is being built here in Muleshoe right off North 1st Street, just north of the crossroads near Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex. Sergio Leal tells us that his sister Alma Jaramillo is building it to mainly service the wholesale market, but they will also have a small amount of retail sales at that location. They hope to open sometime later this year. Alma, of course, has the Leal's Tamale Factory on West 19th Street in Lubbock, which will remain open. So we're glad she is expanding her operations into Muleshoe. Sergio said he expects when the factory is up and running, it will employ 6 to 10 people. So that's a win for the Leals and a win for Muleshoe. Leal's Tamale Factory coming in the very near future to Muleshoe. Listen for the end of the Muletrain for our Sound of Texas today, as it will feature our own Muleshoe's own Mac McLeod talking about his days in Alaska, race dog sledding in the Iditarod and more. And, of course, that Sound of Texas program is at the end of every Muletrain news program, brought to you by Bailey County Electric. Fine Arts Night to Shine is set for next month on April the 2nd from 6 until 8 p.m., and that will feature MHS art, band, choir, and theater speech performances there at Muleshoe High School Commons area, cafeteria, and the Carrie Moore Auditorium. That's April 2nd, 6 to 8 p.m., MHS Fine Arts Night to Shine. We'll be back with more Muletrain news in just a few moments, so please stay tuned. Since 1925, AIM Bank is proud to be one of the largest locally owned and operated banks in West Texas. Our expert bankers have an in-depth understanding of the local economy, and we are proud to provide our customers with quick local loan decisions. At AIM Bank, we know that strong local partnerships are crucial for growth and success. Investing in you has been our focus from day one. We provide the latest in technology for your online and mobile banking with features like mobile check deposit. At AIM Bank, we care about your accounts as much as you do, so we pride ourselves on real personal attention because we are also your neighbor. We invite you to come in and experience the real personal attention AIM Bank has to offer. We want to know you because we live, work, and raise our families right here in Muleshoe too. AIM Bank is committed to making a difference in the communities we serve. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Help us welcome to Muleshoe Dr. Kenneth Burke. Kenneth Burke, DO, is now practicing full-time in the medical clinic of Muleshoe and is ready to see patients. For an appointment, call today, 806-272-7544. Dr. Burke was born in De Leon, Texas, and went through Corpus Christi and Lubbock on his path to Muleshoe for his undergraduate training. And then in the U.S. Navy, he was responsible for mobilization and security of the medical and chaplain team. Shawnee, Georgia for medical school, and then Jersey City, New Jersey for his medical internship and family practice residency. Welcome to Muleshoe, Dr. Burke. He's purchased a home here and ready to make Muleshoe home again. For an appointment, call the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe, 806-272-7544. Help us welcome Kenneth Burke, DO, to Muleshoe. Well, the sponsor of the week at the Bailey County Senior Center is Leal's and Sergio Leal. And writing this biography on the Leal's family is Carolyn Johnson, the director there at the Senior Center. Speak the name Leal's and the mind immediately goes to thoughts of wonderful Mexican food, fresh tortillas, and salsa. But to those of us who live in Muleshoe, thoughts also go to the wonderful Leal family. Jesse Leal and Irma Anzaldua both grew up in Mercedes, Texas. Jesse did migrant work and followed a potato broker from the valley to Muleshoe, where he worked with Barrett Produce. In 1955, Jesse married Irma, and she joined him in Muleshoe. Irma realized after being there a short time that no one was making Mexican food or fresh tortillas. She shared her idea with Jesse to open a tortilla factory. They had saved $750 because they needed a bigger house, but instead of a larger home, Jesse and Irma spent the money on a tortilla machine. This led to the new opening of a restaurant in 1957 in Muleshoe called Leal's. Jesse and Irma His family soon grew to include 6 children: Hector, Alma, Victor, Laura, Sergio, and Abel. After a humble beginning in Muleshoe, the Leals opened restaurants in Muleshoe, Monahans, Littlefield, Lubbock, Plainview, Amarillo, and 2 in Clovis. Their staff now numbers over 300, and they continue to have a tortilla factory in Muleshoe that ships not only to Texas, but Oklahoma, Colorado, and New Mexico. All 6 of the children have agreed to be Sponsor of the Week for the Bailey County Senior Citizen Center. As thrilled as we were to hear this, it was no surprise to us. The Leals have always appreciated and given back to this community. Every child of the Leals were successful in their own right, and today we begin with Sergio Leal. It's been said the world is a stage where each is a cast to play his own role. No one knows that better than Sergio Leal. Like his brothers and sisters before him, he grew up in the family restaurant. He learned very early from his parents and older siblings that some things could not be inherited, but a good reputation, trust, respect, and wages must all be earned. Sergio admitted he had worked in the family business his entire life, with the exception of one summer where he chose to go out and chop weeds and hoe cotton. He said he found out that the outdoor labor was really hard work and decided rolling tortillas wasn't such a bad job after all. Sergio graduated from MHS in 1986. He then moved to Whitesboro, where he helped Victor in his restaurant there until 1991. It was there that he met his wife, Tracy, from Sherman, Texas. Tracy and Sergio moved back to Muleshoe in August of 1981 and took over ownership of the tortilla factory, which they still own and operate today. Sergio told me that he loved growing up in Muleshoe. It was here that he learned the importance of strong, close-knit family ties. He said that his mom and dad stressed to all the kids that their words should have value and they should never forget their community, which so graciously accepted them and helped them get their start. He said he heard many times, "Always be about the business of helping people." That can be seen every day in Sergio's life. He has been very active in so many community events. He has served on the Muleshoe IC School Board and has been a member of various service organizations. He began as a leader of a prayer service in the Anglican Church. He became a deacon of this church in January of 1998 and then became an ordained priest in November of 1998. He's still serving as priest to this day. The love for this community and its people, it was evident as I talked to Sergio. He recalled Mrs. Finley, his third-grade teacher, who he said was a major influence in his life. He also told of several coaches who were good role models to him. He praised all of the employees from this area who had worked at the various Leal's establishments. Without their contribution and hard work, we wouldn't have what we have today, he said. He also praised many of his friends, parents, whom he respected and learned from. These include Jose and Dora Triana, the Vela family, the Ambrose family, the Lopez family. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Sergio agrees, as he credits so many friends and families who were there to help him along. Sergio and Tracy have 5 children: Alyssa, Eli, Jesse, Luke, and Grace. They have 4 grandchildren from Alyssa, and Eli is expecting his first this month. Yes, the world is a stage where each is cast to play his own role. Sergio Leal's role has been one of a true leadership. When a leader talks, people listen. When a leader acts, people watch. What a pleasure it was! What a pleasure it has been hearing you and watching you grow from a starry-eyed kid to such a respected leader. Our Bailey County Senior Center is most appreciative of the help and support you have given to our cause. We're blessed to have you in this community. And Sergio Leal and Leal's Restaurant and Tortilla Factory is the Bailey County Senior Center sponsor of the week. They're at the Senior Center, 319 South Main Street today. On Thursday, they're playing at 1 o'clock bingo, Temple Builders at 9 a.m. Friday morning, and Wayne Swart will be entertaining during the lunch hour there on Friday. Well, we spoke with Jolene Clement through Facebook yesterday, and she graduated from Muleshoe High School in 1972. Her parents were Don and Joanne Rempe. Her dad was one of the owners of the John Deere business when he was alive, and then it was called Dent and Rempe John Deere Implement Company. Her next youngest brother is Keith Rempe, who still lives here in Muleshoe, along with his wife, Dana. Her other brother lives in Slayton, Texas, and She graduated with a BS degree in art education and a master's degree from West Texas State University. She taught 28 years in the Panhandle of Texas as an art teacher, and then 16 of that being at Amarillo High. Jolene moved to Tennessee after that to pursue her own art career and teaching private workshops and classes. She has thoroughly enjoyed doing that, and getting to see different scenery is more inspiration for art. She has a website, jolensartplace.com, and you can see some of her artwork there. She has 2 grown sons. One is working and living in Amarillo, and the other is stationed at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. He has a wife and 2 daughters, and he has been deployed numerous times and has lived in many places. He has served in the Air Force for 17 years. She has returned to teaching art in the public school system in Tennessee in Maury County schools, and she is loving it near Columbia, Tennessee. And she wanted to share with us that Columbia, Tennessee has a huge annual Mule Day celebration. It's called the Columbia, Tennessee Mule Day Celebration. And this year, their Mule Day celebration will be April the 2nd through the 5th there in Columbia, Tennessee. And it looks like a really big, interesting celebration, as they have a wagon train, beauty pageant, arts and crafts show, flea market, mule log pulling, mule races, chili supper, bluegrass festival parade, mule pulling contests, and much, much more. And that was very interesting, the Mule Days there in Columbia, Tennessee, April 2nd through the 5th. And good to hear from Jolene Clement, MHS grad of 1972. And she says keep her and her friends on your prayer list today, as that tornado that rolled through Tennessee on Tuesday in Nashville and all the surrounding vicinity really disrupted life and killed numerous people. So keep those people on your prayer list today. Also, remember the family of David Lewis. We had his full obit at the top of the Muletrain today. He was a member of the MHS class of 94, died on February the 13th, and his mother, Sadie, wanted to express her heartfelt thanks to the Muleshoe area for all the outpouring of love the Lewis family has received. Please keep the family of Benny Sue Free on your prayer list today. C.C. Matthews, the family of Pedro Pacheco Sr., Jasper Woodson, the family of Melba Clark, Socorro Gallegos, the family of Maria Ruvalcava, the family of Faye Boland, and the family of Joe Crandall. On your prayer list today, remember Becky Hawksbergen and Ray Precure, both fighting cancer. Breanne Williams, who had knee surgery. Remember Harold Redwine. Remember Carolyn Johnson, as she has re-injured her knee recently. Ronnie Dent and Stanley Wilson, Marilyn Cox, Eddie and Gail Morris. Remember Hector Flores on your prayer list today. Sally Ellis in our Parkview. Susan Kirby, Marshall Nanhead, Leonardo Aviles. Keep him on your prayer list today. Patty Kent, Matthew Alicon. All these people need to be on your prayer list today. Well, it's just about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by the First Bank along with Leal's Mexican Restaurant. You can hear our latest Muletrain News programs along with all our archived ones available online free of charge on demand, muleshoetv.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of the page.
I'm Tumbleweed Smith. A man in Muleshoe ran the Iditarod. Details in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
The Sound of Texas is brought to you here on MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, with offices in Muleshoe at 610 East American Boulevard, as well as in Morton at 1744 State Highway 114. They're celebrating rural electrification right here in the Muleshoe area through Bailey County Electric since 1939. They are owned by the members that they serve. Call 806-272-4504. Check them out online at BCECOOP.com. The board of directors, the members, the employees, the manager, CEO David Markle, all hope you enjoy this Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
Dog sled racing is a popular activity in Alaska.
They have a lot of sprint racing just with young kids and women and the whole family participating on the weekends. You know, like 3, 5, 10-mile races. They've got any type of machine you want. like the sprint mushing and then the distance mushing. Sprint mushers usually start with 16 or 18 dogs. You can still win a race starting with 16 dogs and dropping, say, to 12 the second day and even down to 8 on the third day. A small team don't mean that it don't have the speed. And when you're on distance racing, the smaller teams out on the ice on the coast is an advantage over the larger teams.
Mac McLeod of Muleshoe spent 30 years in Alaska. He ran the 1,100-mile Iditarod in 1988 and came in 22nd out of 84 mushers. He spent a lot of time training his dogs.
How I learned to build strength and speed is one day, once the snow came, I would load my sled with 300 pounds of sandbags, and then I'd go in the mountains and make my dogs really work for like a 20 or 30-mile run. Then I'd come back in, and then the next day I'd go out with an empty sled where they can just run. And you're building strength one day and speed the following day.
The Iditarod is from Anchorage to Nome and starts the first Saturday in March. There is another long race called the Yukon Quest from Whitehorse to Fairbanks.
It's the toughest race. It's a 1,000-mile race, and when I ran it, you could only start with 12 dogs, and you had to finish with 8. On the Iditarod, you could start with as many as you thought you could run. Most people, I started with 16 on the Iditarod.
He is proud of his dog sledding achievements.
Well, it was a joy and a pleasure.
Mac McLeod of Muleshoe. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.